If you thought the UK's immigration debate couldn't get any more intense, think again, because the leader of the UK Conservative Party, Kemi Badenoch, has just dropped what she calls the toughest reforms Britain has ever seen in immigration policy, and it's already sending shockwaves across the country and beyond.
Today, I'm launching our Radical Borders Plan, the toughest reforms Britain has ever seen to border laws and operations. Successive governments have failed on immigration. Labour promised to smash the gangs. Instead, in just a year, they delivered record small boat crossings, over 50,000 illegal arrivals, 32,000 people in asylum hotels, billions wasted. It's pure weakness. Britain needs a serious, credible plan and the backbone to deliver it. That's the Conservatives. That's our Borders Plan.
In a bold and controversial announcement, Badenoch unveiled her Radical Borders Plan, a new strategy aimed at detaining and deporting 150,000 illegal migrants annually. Yes, 150,000 deportations every year. In a video message posted on her X, formerly Twitter, account on Sunday, Badenoch declared that her government would establish a brand new enforcement agency called the Removals Force, modeled after the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, better known as ICE. And here's where it gets shocking. This new removals force would have sweeping powers, including the use of facial recognition technology without prior warning to identify and remove undocumented migrants across Britain. Badenoch said clearly and firmly in her message, "If you're here illegally, you will be detained and deported." That statement has instantly divided opinion across Britain, with some praising her for taking a hard line, while others accuse her of undermining human rights and pushing the UK towards one of its most radical immigration overhauls in modern history. Now, Badenoch has long positioned herself as a hardliner on immigration, often criticizing both Conservative and Labour governments for what she describes as their failure to control Britain's borders.
My message is clear. If you come here illegally, you will be deported. We'll shut down the asylum hotel racket, save billions, and take back control of Britain's borders.
In her video, she didn't hold back. She blasted the Labour government, accusing them of presiding over record levels of illegal crossings and wasting billions of pounds in asylum accommodations, particularly the controversial use of asylum hotels. She said, and I quote, "Successive governments have failed on immigration. Labour promised to smash the gangs. Instead, in just a year, they delivered record small boat crossings, over 50,000 illegal arrivals, 32,000 people in asylum hotels, and billions wasted. It's pure weakness." Here's where it gets even more interesting. The Radical Borders Plan doesn't just target illegal migration. It fundamentally rewrites how Britain's border laws and asylum system operate. According to Badenoch's announcement, asylum claims from illegal entrants will be banned outright. The Human Rights Act will be repealed, and, most controversially, the United Kingdom will withdraw from the European Convention on Human Rights, ECHR. That move alone would mark a historic and dramatic shift, potentially putting the UK on a direct collision course with European human rights frameworks that have guided its policies for decades. Badenoch made it clear, all illegal arrivals will be deported within a week. Under her plan, legal barriers to mass deportations would be removed, and visa sanctions would be imposed on countries that refuse to take back their citizens. In simple terms, if your home country refuses to repatriate you, the UK could block or restrict visas for people coming from that country in the future. She also vowed to shut down the asylum hotel racket, claiming that her Radical Borders Plan would save billions in taxpayer money and, quote, restore public trust in Britain's borders. Now, let's pause here because whether you agree with her or not, this plan represents one of the boldest and most controversial immigration policies ever proposed by a UK political leader. Badenoch insists that only the Conservatives have a serious, credible plan to deliver stronger borders, saying if you come here illegally, you will be deported. But here's where it gets even heated. During an interview on BBC's Sunday with Laura Quinsberg, Badenoch came under fire when pressed on one simple question: where will the deported migrants go? Her response? I'm tired of all of these irrelevant questions about where they should go. They will go back to where they should be or another country, but they should not be here. When pressed again, she doubled down. They will go back to where they came from. That comment alone has sparked a political storm, with critics arguing it shows a lack of practical clarity, while supporters claim it demonstrates the kind of nonsense approach Britain needs to regain control of its borders. According to Sky News, the proposed removals force will completely replace the existing Home Office Immigration Enforcement Unit. The new agency would be given sweeping powers to locate, detain, and deport illegal migrants much faster than the current system allows. It's also said to use AI-driven surveillance tools, facial recognition in public areas, and cross-database checks with HMRC, NHS records, and even housing data to identify undocumented migrants. If approved, this plan would represent one of the most radical overhauls of UK immigration enforcement in decades, surpassing even the Rwanda policy in scale and ambition. Supporters of the Radical Borders Plan argue that the UK needs drastic measures to stop illegal boat crossings across the English Channel and to reduce the burden on local councils and taxpayers. But opponents, including human rights groups and immigration lawyers, warn that repealing the Human Rights Act and withdrawing from the ECHR could expose Britain to international legal challenges and potentially isolate the country diplomatically. Still, Kemi Badenoch supporters see her as a rising star in the Conservative Party, someone who was willing to take hard decisions where others have failed. They argue that Britain's border system is broken and that her plan could finally bring order to a process plagued by delays, loopholes, and abuse. Here's where it gets even more intense. Under Badenoch's proposal, illegal entrants would have no right to claim asylum, and deportation flights could begin within 7 days of arrival. To make that possible, her government would seek new bilateral agreements with other countries to accept returnees quickly, bypassing the slow and complex asylum appeals process. She also promised to end taxpayer-funded housing and benefits for illegal migrants, saying that the UK can no longer afford to spend billions rewarding those who break the law. Badenoch's message resonates strongly with those who believe the UK immigration crisis is spiraling out of control, especially amidst rising small boat arrivals across the English Channel. But the big question remains, can such a plan be implemented legally and logistically? Experts are already warning that deporting 150,000 people annually would require massive infrastructure, new detention centers, and agreements with dozens of countries, not to mention the political fallout from repealing human rights protections. Yet Badenoch's message to voters is simple and clear. Britain needs a serious, credible plan and the backbone to deliver it. As the political debate deepens, this proposal could become one of the defining issues leading into the next UK general election. For some, it's a bold step toward restoring order and sovereignty. For others, it's a dangerous slide toward authoritarian border control. But one thing is certain. The Radical Borders Plan has placed immigration back at the center of British politics, and Kemi Badenoch has positioned herself as the face of the new, uncompromising conservative stance on immigration. So, what do you think? Is this the real solution to Britain's border crisis, or a political gamble that could backfire? Share your thoughts below. This is UK Immigration Express, your trusted source for real immigration news, visa updates, and policy breakdowns that matter to you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we bring you the truth behind every immigration headline every week.